lot of producers are rushing to that online beat leasing marketplace. And I think as many are running to it, there are as many running from it, claiming that it's too saturated, claiming that it won't work for them. Because I think the perception of it is that it's easier than the industry. I don't know. I think it's fairer than the industry, having done both. But I'm not going to tell you that it's easier. Some people will. It takes a lot of work, and the people who expect it to be easy, I think, are the ones that instantly use the line, "It's too saturated for me to succeed," as a reason to make an exit or to try less hard to succeed in that world. It's just a different business model. It's like anything else. It's like any other small business. Now, this is the comment I want to talk about that I read, and it had to do with type beats. The gentleman, and this was a productive conversation, and hopefully I convinced him not to give up and not to play into this misconception. His point was, and I'll read it, someone typing in type beats isn't looking for my kind of electronic hip-hop anyway. Just gotta accept that putting out 3 type beats per day and selling a bunch of $10 leases isn't my business model. So, 2 things that I disagreed with. Making 3... yeah, you can make 3 beats a day. If you have that kind of time, that'd be great. I wish I could make and upload 3 beats a day. I'm not leasing for $10 though. But the first part, and I think that's what a lot of people think, these $10 leases, you can't make money, blah, blah, blah. And I keep saying, look at all of these items out there, all of these products that are well under $10 that are making companies billions of dollars a year. I'm not saying that beat is like a can of Pepsi in the sense that somebody goes and buys a 6-pack of beats twice a week or 3 times a week. But, excuse me, but people do buy beats in bulk. People are purchasing beat licenses on a weekly or monthly basis. So don't underestimate that market just because the price points are lower. I mean, what are the industry price points? $5,000 to $10,000 on average, I think, for an advance. Realistically, does the rapper in your city or the singer in your city have $10,000 per beat? No, so it's not reasonable for any producer to expect that. And that's why licensing is such a good compromise, because maybe you only get $39 for that license, but you might still end up making thousands off that one beat. It just depends on how good the beat is, how good your marketing is, how long you've been doing it, how well you're doing it. So I don't want to downplay that. I think that's what a lot of people do. Certainly what I used to do. I used to hate that model. I used to hate type beats. I used to hate leasing beats on the internet. Like, how could anyone make any money off $10 licenses, $19 licenses, $20 licenses? I was an idiot. I was wrong. But the first part of the comment, which is that chances are someone looking for type beats isn't looking for my kind of electronic hip-hop, that's what really kills me about a lot of producers trying to get into the online beat licensing landscape, and they get so frustrated because they think that somehow, just because their perception of the marketplace is that every beat has to sound the same, every beat has to sound current, that's actually what statistically and factually customers are purchasing. I encourage anybody who's thinking that, I encourage anybody, period, to go on the Airbit or BeatStars top charts and just listen to who the top producers are, listen to their beats, and see. I see it, bro. Is it related to what I'm talking about right now? Because if so, then I'll bring you in. If not, just give me some time. It will change the way you look at it. Change the way I looked at it, because the people in the top 10 all sound different stylistically. You might expect to go on the top 10, top 20, top selling internet producers and hear the same style. Hear something that sounds like Juice WRLD meets Lil Baby. It's not the truth. That's not how it is. So a lot of producers who claim that their music is too, I don't know, left of what is mainstream, and therefore they can't have a profitable online beat licensing business, are wrong. They're just hurting themselves. They're blocking their own opportunities. That's why I say, listen to producers like Tone Jones, listen to producers like Dreamlife, listen to producers like Mantra. None of them are making run-of-the-mill loop-based trap beats. They're not, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the same way producers in the industry that stand out are standing out because they have some sort of musical angle, something unique about their style of production, something unique about their sound. The reason they're successful in the industry at large is the reason that these producers, using BeatStars, using Airbit, using TrackTrain, using whatever, are successful in the internet sphere. It's not about mass producing the same product over and over again that everybody else is creating. Yes, people are doing that. People have been doing that forever. But they're not making a living by doing that. So that's what I want people to know. I'm going to bring Patch in a minute, just waiting to see his screen appear. But feel free to ask questions.
Yo, what's good?
How are you feeling?
I'm good, thank you. You too?
I can't complain.
All right, for sure. All right, so this is pretty much what's happening, right? I'm a producer, and I don't really like sell. I'm not looking to sell beats really. I'm really just looking for quality artists that I like and want to support, and just working with them for free. I just hit them up with beats or whatever, and just like hoping to make connections or whatever. Because I'm not really trying to make money yet. Thankfully, I don't need to yet right now, because I'm still like yeah. So I don't really like need money, so I'm just trying to make connections right now. So pretty much like an artist hit me up, and he was talking about he wanted me to help him with a whole project. So it wasn't like any specific number of beats. So I was wondering, how should I go about charging him? Like, should I charge per beat? Should I just charge a flat rate to just work on everything? And how should I ask for the payments?
Well, okay. So first of all, you're saying that you don't need money necessarily.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, so I'm not like, because I feel like money gets in the way of like constrained relationships, and like if you're charging, it's like artists, like it's a restraint. So, and since I don't need it right now, I'm just like trying to make connections, and like yeah, and solidify pretty much just trying to get out there.
But you're also wondering about how to charge this artist. So I guess I'm just confused because you're kind of on the one hand you said you don't want money necessarily. You'd rather make the connection, make the music first.
Sorry. Let me go back. All right. So this artist hit me up, and he said that he's a creative director. So he seemed like really like serious and like very businesslike. And so he asked me. He said he'd really love to work with me, all of this, and he said, "So how much do you charge?" And so because I wanted to seem like I was serious about my work, is why I decided this time like I would like charge. Usually I wouldn't, but I just didn't. I felt like if I just said, "Oh no, it's just free," he wouldn't like take me seriously.
I mean, not necessarily. No,
because let me just say I'd be putting a lot of time into it. I know I'd be putting a lot of time into it too, because it's like crafting a whole project. So that's why it's just different than like sending people beats. You get me? So in this case, I kind of like
but that's more production. To me, that's the more fun I did that for years and years. To me, that was how I became a producer. Unfortunately, it was in terms of a financial reward, it didn't get me anywhere. I mean, I was
Okay.
working with a lot of low lives that I would not even acknowledge.
Okay.
Excuse me, my bad. That I wouldn't even acknowledge if I passed by on the street right now. I hate to say it, but these are people that's, wasted time, ruined my reputation, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And but the upside to all of that time spent was that I learned how to actually produce, beyond just making a beat. Now, I don't
Okay.
know where you are in terms of your journey as a professional. Anyone can start charging at any time and they can ask for whatever they want. There's no hard and fast rule. I always say just listen to your own heart and soul, and if you're comfortable with it, go with it, and if you're not comfortable with it, then that's gonna haunt you. That's a decision
Okay.
that's gonna haunt you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
But
felt like I wouldn't be comfortable like working on all of that, like a whole project, and not like get paid anything. So so should I like if I was gonna play, going like um charge a flat rate just to work on everything? Should I like ask for like half the front end and then half in the back end?
1 second, let me put when someone called me, it messed everything up. Hold up,
No, you're good.
where's my headset at?
You can hear? You can hear me?
Yeah. Now it's better.
All
Say
right.
that one
So
more
I'm
time.
saying, all right. So I'm saying like the way I like I just like I kind of didn't feel comfortable doing a whole project with him, even though I liked his sound and all of that, to like spend all that time
Yeah,
and not get paid anything. So like what I was saying was that like the way I think is the easiest way for me is to not like, because I feel like it would just get messy charging like track by track, because I don't know how much like all of that. So I was just gonna like charge a flat rate, and I'll just be good for the rest of it. So I'm saying like, should I charge like the first half for in the front end and then the rest in the back end? Like how do I charge it? And then
I
like
can't
I
tell you what to charge. The thing is, where are you in terms of your leverage as a producer? That because unfortunately,
or
that often matters as
yeah,
much
leverage. I get you. Yeah.
as the talent. So for me, if where I am right now, after all the experience, after a couple plaques, after a couple #1 records, I have a little more leverage. I also have more
Okay.
experience, and I have a certain degree of notoriety and talent, or notoriety for the talent, I guess you could say. So I'm in more of a position to say, well, if this artist is someone who's just starting out and they have 50 followers on their most active social media uh, page, they're probably not bringing much to the table in terms of enhancing my brand. They might be very talented, and I might maybe want to develop them just based on the talent level, but
Yeah.
that's my own decision. That's a major risk on my part. I've done that before. There have been really talented artists that I've worked on and developed
Okay.
and so forth, and then they turn around and just quit because they're frustrated with the business, whatever. But
Okay.
that's a risk that you should take. Now, for you, I'm assuming that you're also in a similar position to the rapper that you're trying to work with, in the sense
Um.
that
Yeah, yeah, most likely. But the thing is that
yeah,
I feel like I have leverage specifically with him because I know he's looking for my exact sound. So because I know I'm
right,
in demand with him, and he
yeah,
knows that he's found someone that can create this sound that's not big, because my sound is not really like mainstream type. So that's what I'm saying, that I feel like he sees much value in me, and he that's why he in the first place asked like, what do I charge? Because he already expected that when I didn't. So
yeah, then I would just pick a rate that you think is reasonable. And the thing about all of this is that everything's negotiable. We're all humans. We can
yeah,
turn down something, or we can accept something.
yeah.
My main concern with everybody is that you just can't let these situations haunt you by saying yes to something that you know in
That
your
you
heart
didn't want.
isn't,
Yeah.
that you didn't want. And I've done it a million.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I
I'll
get you.
tell you a million stories about where someone says, I need this kind of beat. Trust me, I got you. I'm so serious about it. Just make this. I got you. I
Yeah.
make the beat, and then they're like,
And
"Yeah,
they
no,
ain't come
I
through.
don't want this. I don't have any money. What are you talking about?" Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
happened to
Yeah.
me a
I
couple
get you.
times before. I just said, "No, I got to do it up front." And even now, if someone
Yeah.
wants a custom beat, I'm just going to charge a small deposit, but something to
Yeah.
show that you're serious.
Something.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
because, like
Exactly.
you said, it's your time that's valuable. At this point,
Exactly. Even though I enjoy
it's
doing
not.
it, it's still time.
It's still time because you're doing it specifically for this artist. It's not your project, it's his project, right? So
Yeah.
he's contracting you. So when you start looking at it as a talent that's being contracted rather than just as a hobby that, you enjoy doing, because it's both, but the same way that a carpenter enjoys transforming a house into a beautiful livable space,
But he still
it's the
charged.
same way he still charges because it's still labor.
Yeah.
So to just take that into consideration. There's nothing I can say to you in terms of an actual dollar value that I would feel comfortable saying because I have no idea what
Okay.
your situation. You can look at the average of what people are charging for beats, but this is a different situation because you're completely creating from the ground up an entire project.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But besides the value of like what I'm charging, I'm saying like, should I just to be sure on the safe side, instead of paying like asking for all of it in the beginning or at the end, I'm saying should I half it up and like ask for one half in the beginning and then when it's done.
Oh, he froze. Um, I, I I would personally ask for some kind of deposit, just something that I think is reasonable, because let's say this person abandons the project halfway through. That happens sometimes with art. Art is a messy, chaotic process. Who's dedicating that level of commitment to someone else's project to receive some kind of immediate benefit up front, especially when you're working with someone remotely. I mean, you work with somebody in the studio. It all depends on how committed each party is. That's that's the This is a hell of a question to talk about because you really never know unless you know what the level of commitment is. And I talked about this with my best friend Jacob. His name is my best friend Jacob. He's done sound design for the Kanye West famous video. He's done a lot of things. He was a guest here on Music Entrepreneur Club. And what often happens with producers, that's why these situations are so touchy. Um, am I an artist or a producer? I'm a acrobat actually from Russia. I'm just filling in for Kato. And he was talking to me about that stuff, and I um, told him that, because we were talking about skill sets that producers have, that producers often find themselves in a position of leverage without knowing it. For example, if you produce, you already have knowledge of sound design, and even if you're not a great engineer, you at least have the resources and means to learn, right? So now that's 3 skill sets. On top of that, you're a producer. You're probably a nerd because you're sitting in front of a computer all day. You can figure out how to make graphics. All right, that's 4. Then you know how to use the internet already, right? Because you're probably putting your beats online. Now you have 5 skills. And because you have your beats online, you're learning marketing as well. Now that's 6 skills. So when you walk into and I could go on, when you walk into a situation where you're working with a artist, a recording artist, 50-50 on a track or on an album, they might expect you to do all those things: produce, record, mix, master, design, market, upload, and all they're doing is recording the songs because you already have that skill set. So that's no longer a 50-50 situation. That's more like a 80-20 situation, right? And that's what you have to be wary of. I found myself in that situation more times than I'd like to admit. And each one of those times I learned because I experienced it, but I didn't necessarily gain anything financially, gain anything in terms of my branding from those situations. So understand what your skill set is, understand what your level of commitment is, because you just have to be comfortable with it. What I was saying is just I would get something up front if there's already an interest. Working with somebody remotely is riskier than working with somebody face to face, but even working with somebody face to face, when you're that involved, is risky as well, because you never know what people's intentions are. They might quit tomorrow. But and then to echo what Tom C is saying, he used a good word, which is negotiate. Everything's negotiable. You just be upfront with people, be willing to adapt and compromise, but also be upfront about what you need. You don't want to betray your own heart. That's the worst thing you could do, because that's going to make the whole project really not enjoyable. And it's